Hey everybody, welcome back and thank you for visiting Just the Best Partz. I'm SP and I'm back in the chair. So today I'm throwing out my quick and final thoughts and review on the Acolyte Season 1. So let's go. So first for the good stuff. The story. The narrative of the Acolyte stands out as one of the most intricate and nuanced Star Wars stories ever created by Lucasfilm. I'm standing by that. I loved how it delved into these internal dramas of the Jedi and how the story gives us this window into what will finally end up becoming, kind of the downfall of the Jedi. It's a hell of a brave undertaking, in my opinion. And I think that Leslie Headland and the writers should be commended for the audacity to really try something different. And we need this. Star Wars needs change. Star Wars needs to move on. And it needs new characters and new situations and new ideas if it's to ever survive. And so, thank you. This show is unique. It creates lore. And it gives us insight as fans. I think this show broke ground in so many ways, and while you've got detractors, and yes, this show isn't perfect, it is the first step into a brave new world of Star Wars, and I think that should be commended. Another thing that I thought that this show did really well was a focus on themes. This show has got all of the classic Star Wars DNA built right into it. Case in point, this show was one giant cautionary tale, not unlike the original trilogy. And here's the thing, from my lens personally, here's what I picked up on. 1, context is everything. A lack of knowledge, a lack of self-awareness, these can lead to catastrophic consequences if you're unable to get past your own shit. You need to learn how to think objectively, not subjectively. Another one, corruption starts with the small stuff. A mistake was made because of lack of context. And what happened? A cascade resulted, with it becoming easier and easier to look the other way, brush shit under the rug, making exceptions to the rule, and general apathy as to what's going on. Another theme that I thought was really important was trust in yourself. In other words, be more self-aware. Take charge of your own decisions. Don't let those decisions be dictated to you by others. That's why one of the episodes is called Choice. The whole thing was about choice. About who do you want to be? What mark do you want to make? Do you want to be an asshole? Do you want to be a good guy? And so these are some of the themes that ran under the surface that I thought were absolutely fantastic. And I think is going to fly over the head of a lot of people. And another thing in the plus column, this is the first time we've seen Star Wars from another era. It did not disappoint for me. Everything in this show looked like it came from another age, but was still familiar. The costumes, the architecture, the ships, both exterior and interior. Even the color palette is completely reimagined in this series, and I thought it was inspired. I thought it worked wonderfully. The interior of the Jedi ship, the control room and the Jedi Temple are just two particular standouts. Look at the colors that they were using. Teal and purples and this muted kind of weird 1950s, 1960s aesthetic. It totally kind of has that Star Wars vibe, but it looks kind of like an old version of it. And I just think they stuck the landing on it. I think that the look of this era of Star Wars is incredible. It's not so over the top that it looks too old, but it's enough that it doesn't feel like it's too much like the original films either. It's just got its own thing, and I absolutely love it. Okay, also in the plus column is the characters. This series introduced a host of remarkable characters to the Star Wars pantheon. Osha and May, Sol, Kamir, Jecki, Yord, Vernestra. These characters are strong and memorable. Just look at the Stranger and Jecki. They have become iconic figures in the Star Wars universe pretty much overnight. They fit seamlessly and contribute to the lore. Also in the plus column, the fight sequences. Not much needs to be said about this, but the fight scenes were terrific. They really were. I was really engaged in these. I felt the stakes. These were some of the best Star Wars fights we've ever seen. I believe that for Star Wars to remain fresh, it is so important to not only have great story and themes and all that, but Star Wars also has a lot of fun action. The thing is, though, it needs to be inspired. It needs to be fresh. You know, and that counts whether it's on the ground with lightsabers and gun battles, or if it's in space with starfighters. They have to hit us and wow us, you know? And the way you do that is by evolving how they fight. Stranger introduced cortosis, and we were blown away by it. That was an amazing ad. It added such a new dynamic and obstacle for the Jedi to overcome. Okay, so now for the bad things. I think we had an editing and pacing issue, and I don't think that I'm alone in that. Personally, I thought some of the editing and pacing felt pretty mushy. Like they could have tightened up the script just a bit. You know, why didn't we get more scenes with Senator Rayencourt? He seems like a much bigger deal as to what's going on with the Jedi. We should have really seen some of that. I was really interested in this part of the story, but we got 2 minutes of it. And I think that that is a huge missed opportunity. Another ding that I don't think is as bad as some people have talked about is the acting. Yeah, sure, some of it fell flat here and there. It's not so much of a negative to me, considering Star Wars shows have greatly improved in their acting over the years. And yes, I know there are other complaints, but I think that these are the ones that stuck out the most for me. I don't care about canon inconsistencies. I don't think there were that many, actually. I don't give a shit about those screaming about a woke agenda. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is Star Wars. And so did this meet the criteria of being a worthy addition to the Star Wars legacy? And my answer is yes, absolutely it is. Is it my favorite? Not at all. I'm not the type that likes to do the whole X out of 10 rating. My brain just doesn't work that way. I can fit it into where I think it lines up with the rest of Star Wars TV, and it's somewhere in the middle. You know, I liked it more than some and less than others. And that's not a bad outcome, but that's just me. Don't listen to me. Go figure it out on your own. At the end of the day, I still love Star Wars. It didn't break Star Wars for me in any kind of way. So it was great. And I'm looking forward to Skeleton Crew, too. So anyway, those are my final thoughts on The Acolyte. Thank you. I appreciate you coming out and visiting Just the Best Partz. I'm SP. I can't wait to see you again in the future, and I'll see you soon.